I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, is Roseanne Clift here?
I hope so.
No, I don't see her yet. No, I can't start without the secretary. Deb, can you chat her, please? You're on mute, Debs. I can't. Can you chat Roseanne?
Sure. Would you like me to take the attendance?
Sure. If you want to take the attendance, by all means. Yes, please. Okay. So I wanted Roseanne to, because she needs to do the election. So, okay, go ahead. Yes, Debbie, please. Okay.
Okay. So AJ Babashkin, Alzano,
You're on mute, but she's here. I see her.
okay. Click.
Yeah.
Okay. Cognata, Dr. Cognata. Collegio, here.
Here, yeah.
Ben D'Amato,
Yeah.
Sandy DiTrapani,
Here.
Dermaz, Safer Dermaz, Julie Freeman, Roy Galisi,
Yeah.
Hi, Roy.
Sal Genovese,
Here.
Fred Ginta,
Yeah.
Gurdef Kang. Dr. Khalid,
I'm here.
Hello, Doctor.
Enza,
Here.
Diane McNamara,
Here.
Menzi Maratsnik, Dr. Perel, Dr. Raju,
Here.
Jerry Syria,
Here.
David Santoro,
Here.
Dr. Seminara,
Here.
Stephen Zadarica, Steve Zaboinski. Okay.
Present.
Hi, Steve.
Where's that? Okay, it looks like we have a quorum.
Yeah, Kang is here. I'm sorry.
Oh, Kang, how are you? Good to see you.
Okay.
Good. Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
This is nuts.
Roseanne, we did the attendance.
Okay.
Good to
Roseanne's here.
go.
Okay, hi, Ro.
Have a quorum.
Okay, thank you, Deb. Thank you.
No,
Okay. All right, so everybody can see the screen, the agenda on the screen, so I'm going to use that as our playbook tonight. So acceptance of the proposed agenda that's on the screen that you could see. Second, David, thank you. Okay, thank you. Acceptance of the May 17th full board meeting minutes that Deb sent out.
Accept.
Freddie, thank you. Jerry, thank you. Okay, we're good to go. Officers reports. So obviously this is our last meeting for FY22, and I just want to welcome everybody to the June meeting, actually. It's our final meeting for this fiscal year. We had a borough board meeting a couple of weeks ago, and there wasn't any specific agenda, but we did agree to stand in quorum until if something comes up, the borough president wants to have an issue, then we will reach out to us and we'll reach out to the board if that were to happen. Other than that, I did receive a letter this morning that Debbie will share from DOT about a sewer project that'll be
Robert, I think we lost you.
You froze. He froze.
Yeah, I'm gonna text him.
Froze, yeah.
okay. Am I back now?
You're back.
Okay, I don't know what happened.
Nope, no, I don't know where he went. All right, I think Robert's having technical difficulties.
Sorry, I forgot to call Sean Abraham, new board member.
Present here.
Okay, welcome. Thank you.
All right, so Antoinette, why don't you give your first vice chair report, and when Robert
Yeah.
comes back on, we'll pick up where he left off.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to use my iPad because I don't know what happened to my
Oh, you
laptop.
are back. Okay, good.
Yeah, so just bear with me. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm gonna have to use my iPad to conduct this meeting. So, all right, so here we are. Thanks, David. All
Yep.
right, so first vice chair, Antoinette.
I'm here. Okay, if I may just say now, I mean, it's the beginning of the meeting, but I want to say that just to wish you a wonderful, happy and healthy summer. And I look forward to seeing you all well back in September. I don't have anything to report, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Fred Junta. Fred?
He's already,
Going back, I'd like to wish everybody a safe and healthy summer. Enjoy yourself and be safe.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. Jerry, third vice chair.
happy summer to everyone. See you in September.
Okay, thank you. Roseanne Clift, secretary.
No report.
Okay, thank you. Roy Galisi, treasurer.
Yes, the treasurer's report is on file at the office. Anyone wishing to see it may get in touch with Debbie. Black and everything's fine.
Okay, thank you. All right, I just want to thank everyone for their service for the last fiscal year for the entire board, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. Now, we do have a new member that was appointed from Borough Hall. His name is Sean Abram, and he was supposed to be sworn in tonight by Marie Carmody LaFrancesca from Borough President's office. I don't see them here, and I don't know if they're here. If they're not, then we will pull that over until September when they come to the meeting. So I don't see them on the, oh, Marie's here. Marie, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I don't know if Sean is here. Sean, are you here?
Yes, I am.
You are. Okay, great. So I'm going to turn it over. Marie, welcome to Community Board 2. I don't know if you've ever been here recently on a virtual platform with us, but I want to welcome you on behalf of CB2. And it's
I
good to see you.
have. Usually I just log in and keep quiet. So
You
guys get
sneak
to
in and
Zoom.
out. I got you. Okay. All right.
Good evening, everyone.
Okay. All right. So I want to turn it over to you, Marie, if you'd like to swear in Mr. Sean Abram.
Okay. Sean, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So if you could just repeat after me, please. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of member of Community Board Number 2,
of member of Community Board Number 2,
Borough of Staten Island,
Borough of Staten Island,
City of New York,
City of New York,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Thank you, Sean. Welcome. Welcome to the board.
Thank you, and thanks for having me. Thank you.
Hey, welcome,
Rob,
Sean.
I don't want to take any more time away.
Okay, Marie, did you want to make any other announcements or are you finished?
No, I'm finished. Let the board,
Okay.
move forward and everything.
All right, thank you very much. Okay. All right, just bear with me. I'm working off of some weird things here. I don't know
Hi,
what
can everybody
happened.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great.
I can. I don't know. I can't recognize anybody, but I could see it. So, okay. Public session. One, bear with me. I do have an email of people that signed up to speak. Let me just get the list. Okay. Jahi Rose, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Do you have anything that you'd like to say?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak. I'm Jahai Rose, Director of Outreach for the Civilian Complaint Review Board. As you know, the CCRB is a city agency. We take complaints about police misconduct, where it involves abuse of authority, and unnecessary and excessive use of force, use of offensive language, and officers being discourteous to members of the public. We hope that all of you have a wonderful summer. If you are having any events that you would like to see CRB to table at, to provide information to, or any groups that you would like us to provide this information to, I'm going to leave my information in the chat. Feel free to reach out to us. We're trying to keep busy this summertime, so please let us know. We're also doing CCRB Cares. So if you have any events that involve volunteering, anything that we could learn to pick up the same day, like planting a tree, community cleanup, park cleanup, please don't hesitate. Let us know. We want to be involved. So thank you all very much. Have a wonderful summer, and congratulations to your new board member.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to go back. As I said, I lost my connection again. So Sean, I want to welcome you to Community Board 2 on behalf of the full board. You'll be added to our mailing list if Debbie hasn't added you already. You've been assigned to the Traffic and Transit Public Service Committee, and you'll be part of that group. And you'll be getting information from the chair of that committee, Mr. Ruggiero. So welcome, and welcome to Community Board 2. I look forward to seeing you.
Thank you. Thank you. I look forward to serving and being a part of active discussions for making our community better. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, just bear with me. I'm connecting to 3 things at the same time. I did not expect this. Hold on a second.
Recording in progress.
Okay. Leave that. Okay. Let me start the video. Let me get back on track. Okay. Jermaine Williams. Did you want to say anything? Are you here? Jennifer Miller.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Jennifer Miller, New York City Parks. Just wanted to come on and talk about our community input meeting that we're hosting this Thursday virtually. It's going to be all about the Shoreline Parks Plan. So that involves South Beach, Midland Beach, as well as Cedar Grove Beach. We're hoping that you can sign up to register and give us your input on what you want to see on the shoreline in terms of amenities. Again, that's Thursday, June 23rd, 6:30 p.m. Going to be virtual. You can sign up at www.nyc.gov/parks/input. Once you register, you'll receive the Zoom link on the day of the meeting. I'll drop that in the chat as well. In addition to that, our beaches in Staten Island are now open as of the end of May. Lifeguards are on duty from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And this coming Tuesday, June 28th, our New York City Parks public pools will open as well. But if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'll drop my information in the chat, and thank you for having me.
Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. And by the way, the beaches along the South Beach are immaculate. They were great. They're really, really good. Look forward to going down there. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks. I'm glad to hear it.
Okay. Justin Saltiel, New Staten Island Skate Park. Are you here? No? Okay. Marco Hernandez? No? Okay. Leo Heinert, professional skateboarder? Okay. All right. Jean Guerra, Jean from the Travis Civic, you're on mute, Jean, if you want us to hear you for the 2 minutes of allotted time.
Thank you, Robert.
Anytime.
This is again with regard to PS 121, the proposed school. I looked at a couple of the YouTube. So as of November 16th meeting, Mr. Ott of the SCA stated that there were no designs in place yet. That was November 16th, 2021. The SCA used their boilerplate statement about putting the information in the advance in the New York Post. Had an illustration of the design been put in these publications, my PC would have blown up. And you know what I mean by that. Prior to May 3rd, the land use meeting, prior to the May 3rd land use meeting, we had no idea of the design. So correct me if I'm wrong on that date. I didn't have any in-person meetings at all with the Civic because of the COVID-19 lockdown. My first in-person meeting was May the 26th of this year. That's when we came back. I don't pay much attention to land use agendas if I'm not prodded, okay? So I can honestly say that I was not aware of the SCA, that the SCA was on that May 3rd agenda. Had I known, you guys know that I would have been there. I'm that passionate about this issue. At the May 3rd land use meeting, 7 committee voters voted against the waiver and 3 voted in favor of it. At the full board meeting on the 17th of May, 7 were against and 7 were for. I find that those numbers kind of strange. At the May 3rd meeting, it was asked, why not make better use of the underdeveloped land? I think Fred was the person that asked that question. SCA said it was not cost effective to remove the trees. Others objected to taking down the trees. Just so everyone knows, half the trees on that parcel of land are either dead, have already fallen over, or are just plain ugly. Do yourselves a favor and take down the trees and make better use of that undeveloped land for the safety of our children. Partially widening Shelley and Wild would take care of some of the drop-off and pickup issues. 2 BCA committee members at the June 6th hearing suggested revisiting the design. 1 member actually gave alternative suggestions. SCA recommends using Shelley and Wild for student drop-off and pickups. PS 26 already has an enrollment of 282 students. PS 121 will have 572 students. You do the math. I hereby request that we sit down with the SCA and DOT to discuss some alternatives. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Gene. I appreciate your input. Can you email that statement to Debbie, please, so we can get it into the record? So, let's just fast forward. The BSA hearing that was held, the board's request was, as the BSA chair stated, was a very, very narrow point of law of being able to build on an unmapped street. But at that same meeting, at the tail end, when this project was put on there, the board chair and all of the other board members recommended, and I think SCA and DOT and DEP, they did have to have some more information prepared, sent to SCA and BSA, and that they did agree to have a meeting with your Civic and to talk about the access options from both of those streets. Remember, at that meeting, there were options about narrowing them, widening them, having an overhang to make the building a different elevation, to have some more room to in and enter the building. So as the board chair pointed out, it's not nothing is finalized yet, but certain things need to be accepted as sweet and certain things just need to be accepted, but by no means has anything been final yet. But that meeting did end with the understanding that they were waiting for a sign off from DEP and to have a report from DOT, and that they would be willing to have a meeting with your Civic to go over the options that are available to enter and exit that site. And I would just hope that you could reach out to SCA if you haven't done already and schedule that meeting, because the longer it takes, I think the more solidified things are going to become, because they did say they wanted to start construction while these admin issues were resolved, because we had time to resolve site access issues when they had so much other work to do to get the site prepared, right? Am I right or wrong? Right?
Well, excuse my ignorance here, but doesn't the community board come before the civic when it comes to issues such as this?
Well, the board did do, the application that was sent before the board was heard, and we voted 7-7. So we've done what we were requested to do. And that's how the BSA hearing was held. And the next meeting would be with the civic to start the conversation first. And then we can always jump in if you thought it would be helpful. But it's the civic and the SCA that need to sit down as a small working group, not as a large meeting with 50 people, but as a small working group to discuss the issues. And they've never had that yet, and they're willing to do it. So we're requesting that you make that initial reach to them, Gene.
Well, that being said, I spoke with Steve Gonzalez on May 19th.
Mm-hmm.
And he heard my spiel on May 17th. And I expected to hear back from Steve for the next step. And I haven't heard anything. Is Steve still with SCA?
That I don't know, but I do know that if you
then I ask you this. Could somebody please send me contact information for the folks at the SCA that I could contact? Because other than Steve Gonzalez, I don't have
information in the application they sent us, and she can certainly email that to you. I just hate to cut you short, Gene, but we got a full agenda that I got to
just send me that information. I'll contact SCA.
Okay, thank you. That's not a problem. Debbie, we have that information from the app that we sent. Okay, so if you can share that with Gene, so he can take the step and make that first call and have that conversation. All I could say is, listening to SCA stating that they wanted to start construction, I would jump on that if I were you, Gene.
Oh yeah, man, I plan to.
Okay, great. Thank you, Gene. Thanks for visiting tonight.
All right.
All right, moving on. We have a presentation tonight here. We have representatives from New York City Department of Transportation. I think they're here. That will give a presentation on the Goethals Bridge connection for phase 2.
I think I'm here. Can you guys see me?
I can hear you. Okay, great. Hi.
Hey, hi, everyone.
yeah, there you are.
Hi. I am Roseanne Caruana. I was going to say community board chair. No, that's your title.
You can be the chair. Yeah, it's all yours.
And you can be the borough commissioner. Take all the problems that come with it, though. I am the DOT Borough Commissioner. I know everyone probably knows me by now, but I just want to start out by saying that we do have a presentation. The project manager, fantastic project manager that we have working on this, David Northmore, should be on this call. Excuse me, he's a former Staten Islander. He left us to go on the Upper East Side, but we still love him. And he has a wonderful presentation on how we're going to continue the Goethals Bridge bike lane so that we can connect it safely to the Goethals Bridge. Just a little side note, excuse me. We did present this to, the borough president and Camilla Hanks, since support of it goes into her community board and community board 1 as well, and got a letter of support from the community board, from community board 1. So we would like to present this to community board 2, since a large portion of this project does encompass community board 2. So with that said, I want to turn this over to David. I know we had an issue with the link. David, are you on the call?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. So, hey, David, take it over.
Are you able to share, David? Okay, good.
Yeah, let me just check real quick. Okay, can you see that?
Coming up. Yep.
Okay.
Good. Yep.
Good. Okay. All right. So my name is David Northmore, project manager with New York City Department of Transportation. And as said, we're going to be discussing Goethals Bridge Connections Phase 2. And so I just want to give a quick rundown of what's going on during the project. Don't mind me slipping back and forth there. So basically, the Goethals Bridge project really wants to close a gap between some existing bike networks that are in New Jersey that connect to Staten Island and the existing bike network in the mid-island of Staten Island. And we think that by doing this, we can expand recreational opportunities for cyclists and for others. And we can also attract visitors to Staten Island and even provide some alternative ways for some people between states. And for a background on what we've been doing, in we have the New Jersey side, the Gothams Bridge Network we're calling here, that runs into Elizabeth, New Jersey, which consists of the Elizabeth River Parkway, the Gothams Bridge Shared Path, and Gothams Bridge Connection Phase 1. And then we have the Mid-Island Bike Network, which consists of New Springfield Greenway and several routes on streets, for example. And so the Elizabeth River Parkway, New Jersey has really been doing a great job with their greenways. They've built a bike path that runs from Midtown Elizabeth, basically the downtown Elizabeth, all the way out to the Goethals Bridge. It's along the Elizabeth River, so it runs through Parkland, and it drops you off essentially in the middle of the heart of the city, and very close, within about a 4-minute ride to Elizabeth Station, which offers connections to New Jersey Transit and the region. And so a couple of years ago, Goethals Bridge Shared Path was open. The Port Authority completed their end of the work. They added a 10-foot shared path that overlooks the the Arthur Kill, and with views of Newark Harbor and much of the North Shore of Staten Island, including, you can see the Bayonne Bridge back there in Manhattan in the distance. And so it's also free to cyclists and pedestrians. So at any time you want to take it, you can, no charge. And then on our end of the side of the project, we recently added what we call Goethals Bridge Connection Phase 1, which was a mix of off-street and on-street bike paths that run along Gulf Avenue. And they basically take you all the way out to Goethals Road North and Forest Avenue. And so we also have the Mid-Island Bike Network, which we've been working for the last couple of years. And it's basically 24 lane miles in total, 13 of which protected, running through parks. It connects to the commercial core of Staten Island, not too far from the College of Staten Island. And we also have Fresh Kills Park, which will be coming online over the next decade or two. And we have a couple other adjacent projects, such as the Arthur Kill widening, which will add, if you're familiar with the new Springfield Greenway, add something similar to that along Arthur Kill Road when they widen the roadway. And so what we want to do is we want to connect these two networks, which are separated basically from a mile gap. And what we're trying to do is create the shortest, most direct route between the two networks. And we've identified the Goethals Road North, South Avenue, Fay, Felton, Lambert's corridor as the most direct route, mainly because we have the highways running through there, which create basically a barrier, and there's very few points to get across them. So it's we think this is the best route to do it. I would also like to just talk about some changes that we're proposing for Goethals Road North at South Avenue. Here we have some developments that are occurring to the north of the project site, and we anticipate future growth because of these developments. And with this project, we'd like to include those improvements in anticipation of that traffic. So the proposal is on Goethals Road North. This is between Forest Avenue to South Avenue. Right now we have a 2-lane road with parking along the north curb. And here we are, one of the things that we're concerned about, again, is that development happening to the north. So we've been running traffic models based on what we see in terms of growth from the actual developments. And also we expect for the next 10 years of growth, which is about a 10% increase usually on our baselines. And so looking at those traffic models, all that future traffic, we believe that Goethals Road North will require at least one travel lane, but we can remove one of them and repurpose it for a bike lane. And the major thing here is Goethals Road North runs westbound only. So if you want to connect to the rest of the community by bike, you can't go down this route if you're trying to get eastbound. So what we'll do is we'll add a 2-way bike path along the south curb on the right side of the street here. And we'll protect it because it's a service road. It tends to get a lot of trucks, lots of vehicles moving faster than normal. We want to put in a Jersey barrier to protect the cyclists along the entire corridor. On the next section, here's the section I'd like to talk to you about future development that I talked about before at Goethals Road North at South Avenue. This is where the school is down the block. We have the exits to the highway down the block too. We're expecting a lot of vehicle traffic if you're heading westbound on Gothels Road North, you're going to want to make a right onto South Avenue. Projections show a pretty solid increase there to get again to these developments along Forest Avenue. And so what we're proposing is to lengthen the right turn lane to accommodate that right turning traffic. And to do so would require about 6 parking spaces. Past South Avenue, once we get to South Avenue, we're turning south and we're going under the bridge. This is the one of the few points we can get across the highways. And here, again, on South Avenue, we're expecting pretty decent traffic from anywhere between the matrix developments of with all the Amazon centers and also with these developments on Forest Avenue. So we project traffic volume will require the existing traffic capacity. So we can't change any of the travel lanes here. But what we can do is we can widen out the west sidewalk, the sidewalk here, so that it's wide enough so that pedestrians and cyclists can ride on it, can use it. And so that's basically a 12-foot wide is our minimum width for a shared path. So we'll put that in. We'll widen out the sidewalk by about 2 feet into the roadway, which is already a bit wide. So we're not too worried. They'll take the travel lane down to just a standard width. And so cyclists will be out of the traffic flow on the sidewalk, and they should have plenty of space to operate without interfering with the pedestrians that are there now. And then the next section is Fay Avenue. This is actually where we're getting is the CB2. The highway is CB2's borderline. So on Fay Avenue, we have a 2-way road. It's pretty light traffic in one direction, pretty heavy traffic and truck traffic too, going eastbound away from South Avenue. And so what we want to do is we want to separate the cyclists from that heavier traffic by adding a curbside bicycle lane, as you can see here. And then with the light traffic, we will add a shared lane, and that's basically wide enough so that motorists and cyclists can navigate around each other. It's wide enough so a vehicle can pass a cyclist if they want to. And again, it's also a short section with low traffic, so we don't expect to see too many conflicts there. Then turning south, we're on Felton Street between Fay to Lambert. And here again, we have a low traffic road. 1 lane in each direction, a little too narrow for dedicated bicycle lanes, but what we can do is add shared lanes in each direction. And these are just little shared, little bicycle markings with little chevrons. And they just indicate to motorists on the road that you can expect to see a cyclist here. And they also tell the cyclists where they should be in the roadway so that everyone can operate around each other and share the road. And then lastly, we turn onto Lambert's Lane between Felton Street and Arlene Street, where we already have bicycle lanes to connect to the greater Mid-Island network. Here we have a very wide road, 1 lane in each direction, which offers us plenty of space to add our typical buffered bike lane. So we have a 5-foot bike lane with a 3-foot buffer, which gives a little more what we call shy distance between the cyclists and the motor vehicles, and doesn't require any parking lots and no changes to the turning lanes or anything on the road. And so in summary, what we're planning to do, going over it all, we're going to rebuild South Avenue's west sidewalk between Gothels Road North and Fay Avenue. We'll remove 1 travel lane on Gothels Road North. We think we could do this. Future traffic projections for the next 10 years say it's okay, we can make the change. And then much of the streets with these new bike lanes will get narrowed down to their standard width. Some of these roads are a little bit wider than standard width, and it's conducive to speeding. And so without affecting traffic capacity, I think we can just narrow it down a little bit and help people out. And it would add about 2.2 lane miles to the bike network. So 1.2 would be protected, and we'd be closing that gap. And so we think the benefits of this is, again, closing that gap between New Jersey and Staten Island, creating a nice bicycle path for people on the weekends and such to go for a nice ride, get the views, because it's hard to get out the Gothels Road North to get to the bridge. This offers a little bit of more convenient route. And we think it also offers an opportunity for some people who might decide to, who usually walk over the bridge, for example, now to get to work on the other side. This does happen, not that often, but it does happen. It gives them an opportunity to that. And it creates safer streets for everyone. And so, yeah, we really think this is a great project. We really like to see what future connections will provide in terms of especially tourism. Recently, the Goethals Bridge was added to the East Coast Greenway, which is a bike path route that goes all the way from Maine all the way down to Florida. So hopefully we could see some spillover from that. People coming to visit Staten Island, especially with the beautiful parks opening up in the middle of the island in the next few years. And so with that, if you'd like to answer any questions, be free. One would like to.
Thank you very, very much, David and Commissioner. So before we go there, I just want to introduce Mike Pardo, who has a letter to read from Councilman Carr regarding this very project. Mr. Pardo, are you still here with us?
Yes.
Welcome. It's all yours.
Thank you for the opportunity to testify at this evening's general board meeting. This statement will be read on behalf of Councilman David M. Carr and will convey his thoughts regarding the most recent bike lane proposal by the Department of Transportation, NYC DOT. Mr. Chairman, I am submitting this testimony regarding the proposed bike lanes that are intended to connect the existing bike lane on Laws and on Arlene Street and Bull's Head to the bike and pedestrian paths on the Goethals Bridge, which currently terminate at Forest Avenue and Goethals Road North. The proposed new bike lane that would run along South Avenue, Fahey Avenue, Felton Street, and Lambert's Lane are all in my district. Generally, I share the misgivings of many Staten Islanders concerning bike lanes. Too often, we see proposals that appear to be centered on the notion that bicycles are viable as a commuter or travel option as personal vehicles and/or mass transit. Staten Islanders oppose such concepts because as a transit-starved community, we know we need our precious road space for cars and buses. Notwithstanding that fact, we have welcomed opportunities to expand bicycle use for recreational purposes. The Staten Island Greenway is undoubtedly a success. In fact, the main gripe most users have about it is that it ends. We have also seen expanded access in our parks with bike rentals proposed for the boardwalk and the positive decision by NYC Parks at the behest of my predecessor, Councilman Stephen Matteo, to allow bike paths on the paths in Clove Lakes Park. So I am sympathetic with the goal of this proposal to have a connection between the Greenway and recreational paths in New Jersey. However, I have some safety concerns about the portion that traverses Fahey Avenue. The southbound side of Fahey will have a dedicated bike lane, but the north side of the street is a shared bike lane, which means that it will be sharing a travel lane with cars and trucks. Shared bike lanes may work on a quiet residential street, but not for what is functionally a service road for a highway. I believe that there is enough room on the north side of the street to build out a full width 4.5-foot dedicated bike lane that will be apart from the vehicle traffic. I am concerned that the failure to do this will result in westbound bike traffic either using the dedicated lane on the south side intended for the eastbound cyclists or use the sidewalk, which can become obstructed by trees from adjacent parkland during warmer weather months. Additionally, I believe that a bollard or other barrier is needed for the bike lane at the southeast corner of South Avenue and Fahey Avenue. I have often witnessed vehicles making tight turns and hitting the pedestrian ramp at that corner. While no westbound cyclists should be using that part of the path, we must plan to protect those that may do so. I have made my concerns known to the New York City Department of Transportation and hope that they will address them moving forward. I ask that Staten Island Community Board 2 consider them as it determines its own position. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pardo. Appreciate that. Can you email that to Debbie, please, for district manager, so we can get that into the record and we can share it with DOT so they could review it if they need to respond?
Will do.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, any other questions or comments about the presentation we just heard? Okay, David, can you give me, is there a schedule for this project?
At this time, we basically go on the notification schedule. So after the board is notified, we have a 90-day hold on a project. It gives us a chance to talk to the board. Sometimes boards don't want to talk to us about it. They're okay with the notification. So I think we notified CB2 in early June. I'm not, Roseanne would know more about that. And so basically, I would say start date would probably be somewhere in August or September.
For design or construction?
For construction.
Construction, so it's already
David,
designed.
Robert?
Did you want- I'm sorry,
Can I
did you want to
comment?
discuss, I'm sorry, Bob, I don't mean to interrupt you. I just want to just jump in real quickly. So we had met with the council member today and we discussed his concerns that
Okay,
Michael
good.
had.
Good.
Yeah,
That's
we
what-
did.
That's where I was
And
going.
and I
Good.
spoke to him as well, yeah. So
Okay,
I don't know,
good.
David, did you want to mention anything about that concern that he raised? Or, what we said was, we'd like to install it. It's really difficult to make any changes to something if it hasn't been already installed. So we want to be able to
And then
see it
tweak it as you go.
Yes, exactly. It's hard to plead the case to make that, to sort of upgrade it to something with bollards if it hasn't already been installed yet. So
Okay.
we have that. We understand his concerns. We have that on our radar. I'm committed. We are committed to continue to monitor this and see what the usage is and see if in fact that we need to, upgrade it to have some bollards.
Perfect.
David,
Okay.
did I say
Robert?
anything?
Yes, 1 second, Dr. Roger. Let me just finish with the commission.
David, did I miss anything on that?
No, and I'd say that this project is reviewed by engineers, and the engineers think that this is the best option, the most safest one. They've done a lot of bike lanes throughout the whole city, hundreds of miles. So we're fairly confident in their opinion. That said, we do 3 years of monitoring, active monitoring after a project's installed. And this is an operational project. If we to see things that could be fixed, we usually go in afterwards and make the adjustment.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Thank you. Dr. Raju.
So I just want to find out, does it need community board's approval or how does it work?
That was my next question.
Okay.
We have the presentation. They've discussed it with Councilman Carr. My next question to the commissioner and Mr. Northmore was, what do you require or we need from community board 2?
Okay, so as we had, as I mentioned earlier at the start, we had presented it to Community Board 1 because it does encompass part of their district.
Mhm.
And what we asked of them, which is we will ask of you as well, we had asked for a letter of support. We would like that letter of support. We think
Okay.
that this is something that will support the Greenbelt. And so we would like to have that. It would be great if we could have that. Yeah.
That's what I figured. Dr.
Robert?
Raju. Yes, Dr. Raju.
Robert, I think this is honestly sad that people who really don't live here very more really don't understand the traffic atrocities we are dealing with in Staten Island. And adding these kind of bike lanes, already we have been suffocated by the transportation department, which has not done anything. The other day there was 1 mile accident. There was 4 miles of completely shut down of the Staten Island Expressway. So I don't think, this is my personal opinion, I will not vote for it. I don't think it is in the interest. I don't think we should issue a letter of support, because this is really not in the interest of Staten Island. Unless they fix the traffic problem for this, it's actually add more traffic issues to Staten Island. And also it's extremely unsafe for the bikers, especially with what is happening in Staten Island. They just have to come and see one day how the traffic flows in Staten Island during the peak hour. They'll get a better understanding of what they're trying to do. So I strongly urge, I think the board should not support this, and we should say, no, this is not for Staten Island. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
I have 2 questions for David, if you get a chance.
Yes, Ben, you're up.
Dave, what's this project going to cost the taxpayers? Do you have an estimate?
I would have to add it up, but in general, the way it works is we talk about projects in 2 ways. There are 2 types of projects. There's like a capital project, and there's the operational project. And this is an operational project. And what you can think of it is like operational projects. We're using in-house materials, things that the city can pay for on a yearly basis. Whereas capital, you're talking about dedicating a lot of money. And so what you're thinking, when you think of a capital project, you're generally thinking of where you're tearing up a road. Anytime you see them doing anytime there's a repaving, that's a capital project, because they're really digging into it. Generally, capital projects get really expensive because the cost of, I think, a cubic foot of concrete for us is about $200. We generally tend to do things in markings, and a linear foot, just 1 foot of markings, is usually about 55 cents. So it's like a very big price difference. It's like a enormous price difference, actually. And so for these projects in general, they usually range I would say in the $100,000 range, whereas a capital project is in the tens of millions, if not hundreds. And so in general, these are considered pretty light projects. And then in terms of the city taxpayer, with a lot of these projects, we ask for refunds from the state government, which is getting a block grant from the federal government under something called the Clean Air Act, in which when we do these projects, as if we can demonstrate that they haven't increased congestion and such, they will give us the refund for this work that we've done. And so, some with not all projects, but with many projects that we do under this fund, the actual cost to the city taxpayer is zero. So that's not exactly, there's extra cost here and there, but for the most part, it's covered by federal grants.
And what was your second question?
My second question is, how do you determine where these bike lanes are going? I mean, are there people putting impact in, riders, or we just randomly putting bike lanes in?
Well, they come from a variety of sources. There's been a lot of planning studies in the past. As one example, there's been the New York City Master Plan, the Greenway Plan, which go through planning processes, often including the community. They come up with an idea. Sometimes we get a letter from the community board. We get a letter from elected officials asking for us to look into it. With this, we got a request from local community groups to want to see the connection between Goethals Bridge for cyclists, and also we tend to look at things like we get data from various groups who collect data on how people move around the city and stuff. For example, a lot of people use an app called Strava, and Strava will send us basically a heat map. It's not personalized, but you can see a heat map of where cyclists are on the road and such. And so, and also, then there's the fact that once you have a bike lane, like a New Springfield Greenway, which we have bike counts that show them some in the order of like hundreds of cyclists a day. And then you have the Goethals Bridge, which is another major Greenway connection. It's more plausible, it's more realistic that we'll see cycling there. And so that often guides. And then the last way that it happens is that often with the Vision Zero process, we're looking to reduce traffic fatalities and injuries on roadways. And so we will look at roadways, try to figure out where the highest fatalities and KSI rate, we call it the KSI, killed or severely injured rate, is on which roads. And so sometimes bike lanes get pulled into that because, if it aligns with a good connection for cyclists, we can use, again, that grant funding to help pay for these projects and such.
Thank you. Diane McNamara, question? Diane, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm not sure what is the exact number of bikes you would anticipate to use this on a daily basis?
Offhand, I would not want to venture too much of a guess, but I would expect, given our previous numbers and such, somewhere in the range of about 100 to maybe 200 a day. So maybe more on the weekends than on a weekday.
Okay, that just seems high because I don't know, when I'm out and about, I very rarely see the bikes out on the lanes.
Great.
Yeah. One of the things that so we do traffic counts. One of the things we don't do is a spot count and just look at a road and say like, oh, like that's what it is. We send these guys out and they basically record the street for a whole day, and they'll sit there and they'll just tap them. And I know it seems like a lot when you're like driving by a road, you don't see that many, but what happens is they come in packs in certain times of the day, and you could these numbers just go up. And so I know it doesn't seem like it, but fairly often on Staten Island, we get about like, I would say like around transit hubs and around parks and stuff, we'll hit about the 100 number. And the numbers are going up. Staten Island in the last couple of years has actually been leading the city in growth, and part of that is because it's been lower than the rest of the city. We've done less work here, but as we've installed the bike lanes, we've actually seen, I think it's at a doubling or maybe even tripling in cycling to work. And we use the census data for that.
Mhm.
And so it's going up, and people are riding, more people are riding. I think, again, it's like if you're just driving down the road, you're on that road for a couple of seconds and there's a whole lot of time for just someone to sneak through. But if there's like 5, 10 people riding, it definitely increases. And the city is aiming to like protect everyone at this point. We want to protect not just motorists, but the cyclists and the pedestrians as well. And so we really gauge it like if there's cyclists on the boat road, we want to protect them. So that's
David, is it fair to say that with the realignment and the geometry of all these roads that you're allowing bike lanes, the roads themselves are being improved as well, correct? You're getting new curbs, new asphalt, new paving.
Yes, that's correct,
new-
Bob.
New lights, new everything, okay.
I was about
Yeah.
to say that as part of the project that comes with sort of
That
the
comes with
project.
it,
And
yeah.
and the other thing I want to also mention is, in order for folks to use this road to connect to the Goethals Bridge, if they don't have anything safe to use, you're not going to see people just, randomly riding along Fahey or Glen Street. If we put them in, we expect to see people using them. And I also want to mention that we did get request since the Goethals Bridge opened up their bike path for a safer way to get to Goethals Bridge. Yeah, because the roads were not safe traveling there.
1 second, Doc, okay. Dr. Raju?
So, no, I think, Robert, I'm so sorry. This is really, these two things are really insult to my intelligence. Tourists are coming by bicycle from Staten Island to improve tourism in Staten Island, or we are going to improve the streets. The streets are better paved for bike lane. Taking one lane off the south side, South Avenue, what happens if there is a major accident in the highway, which happens almost every day, and then everybody goes on the side on the service road? Taking one lane off for a bike lane, it is going to make it worse for us. I think these people understand. I don't know if they understand, or they come and see what really happens here. The other day, I stood there in Staten Island 4 hours for one accident right on the bridge. The entire Staten Island Expressway is backed up as a part of it. If you're going to take off service lanes from the one left lane for the service lane, I think this is really a disaster waiting to happen. So just trying to say, kind of give me a whitewash saying, oh, this is going to improve the tourism. People are going to come in a bike in the loads and going to improve the economy of Staten Island, or is all going to make the streets paved with gold and silver. I don't buy that. So let's not just get into these kind of discussions. I think we should move on and see what is best for Staten Island. I don't think we should support it. But again, if the other board members think differently, I understand that. But these discussions are getting us nowhere, because this is not addressing the fundamental issue the Staten Island live with every day. We are prisoners in our own island because we cannot get out of the island in time. We had to plan for 3 hours to get out of the island in the morning.
Robert, if I may say something?
Yes,
I
couple more comments, and I got to move on this. Go ahead.
Okay, I understand this
Sean, you're
frustration
next.
about traffic on Staten Island. I understand the frustration. This is apples and oranges. These are bicycles on roads. I'm very familiar with these roads, and I ride my bike from Richmond Town over by Countess Moore and back. It's a rebound. But if this is an opportunity to get off of Staten Island for free, we can't get off the island except for the ferry or walking, and advance over May to a train. I think it's the path that's up there. This is not going to create any more traffic or any more backups than are already there. It's apples and oranges. It has nothing to do with cars and accidents and the bridge. That's there. We need to work on that. But to have these bike lanes available to get off of Staten Island, and there's guys that I know that they ride all over the place, and they're in their 70s and their 80s, and they go down to the Jersey Shore. They head out to Western New Jersey. This is just, maybe we don't do it every day, but there are people who do it, and they ride their bikes and they have an opportunity to go someplace other than a loop on Staten Island, like a freaking trolley back and forth. So I fully support the bike
Thank you,
lanes.
Steve. Thank you. Sean,
Robert, this is
1 second,
Dr.
Dr.
Khalid.
Thank you.
1 second, Dr. Khalid. Sean?
Hey, just real quick, is that heat map data or bike count available online? Trying to find it just to see what the numbers are. I only see data for Manhattan. And the second question is, I'm looking at the last report that has something regarding bike count. It's a report from DOT, and it says that Staten Island, although has grown, isn't growing as much as Brooklyn, Manhattan. It actually remains close to the margin of error, and that's a DOT report. So I just want to see the data on how much it's increased, how many people are biking in Staten Island on those roads, and just in general in Staten Island.
Okay, let me just interrupt as well. Let me just say one thing. As compared to the city, as compared to the other boroughs, we are the only borough that has the least amount of bike lanes. And that's because the community overall has not really been supportive of this type of mode of, either recreational, transportation or any other type of transportation. So we are behind the other boroughs. We are definitely behind the other boroughs. And that's why we show the most amount of growth, because to be honest, most of Brooklyn, you can't go through a community without seeing bike lanes. Same thing with Queens, same thing with Manhattan. So we are behind them as far as that's concerned. And my intent is not for us to have bike lanes all over Staten Island, but I think it's only fair to Staten Island that we get the ability to use the resources available to all the other 4 boroughs and start, at least experimenting to see what the usage or what the, how the community wants to, whether or not this would encourage them to use bicycles. I mean, it just seems like for X number of years since this whole cycling took charge in the city, we've always been behind as far as getting resources. And yeah, we are an auto-centric borough. Everyone loves to take their car to Dunkin' Donuts and here in the bank and the drive-up bank and the drive-up Dunkin' Donuts. What we're meant to be is not to flood the community with bike lanes. I want to make that really clear. So you can juggle numbers, you can look at numbers, we'll be happy to provide them with you. What we're trying to do here is I think it's only fair for people that want to ride their bike to have safe routes to do so, because they have them all over the other 4 boroughs. They don't have a lot out here on Staten Island. You may not be a cyclist. I don't know how many cyclists there are on this call, but we do have cyclists on this borough. And we have been asked to look at safe paths to the Gottville Bridge connection. So,
Thank you.
Okay.
Antoinette, thank you.
I'm going to try to keep it short. I have about 15 notes.
Please.
I'll try. First, I want to thank Commissioner David. I absolutely love the Gottville Bridge. I know that's not germane to this conversation, but it's a great job you've done. I have to, and I thank Councilman Carr for his position, stating his position. I have to agree with Dr. Khalid and Dr. Raju. I was a victim of a hit and run, and believe me, it was tough. I thought I was hit by a truck. I'm concerned about the safety of our pedestrians. I think it's time that Ms. Caruana, I appreciate your comment, but if everybody else has it, that doesn't make it right for us. We're here for the community, and I'm hearing that it doesn't seem it's right for Staten Island. But I did want to say that I think it's time to start charging people. Forget about getting off the island free. This is costing a lot of money. We've got bikes, we need licenses, we need taxes, and if this is going to be like a commuter thing, I think that's the way it should be treated. So,
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Khalid.
Yes, my question is that how much studies has been done on this thing for how many months, years that this is necessary, this project is necessary for Staten Island? I mean, we already have so much traffic, and this will be a dangerous thing as far as I think, but if it's needed, then I like to see what study has been done and how many people are looking to have this thing. We can't just impose something which public has to really okay it. Is this ever publicized in Staten Island advance, or groups have said that this is necessary to do that? Or is just being a project that has been, if other boroughs has, we should have it too. Is that the situation?
That's not the situation. That's not the situation at all. My point in comparing to other boroughs is that this has now become the way that people want to commute, especially since the pandemic. It's healthier. People want to, whether it's 10 bicyclists or it's 100 bicyclists, every single bicyclist deserves to have a safe path on Staten Island. And it's not, it's not a matter of, we don't want it here, it's going to cause traffic. We've done a lot of study. We did phase 1 a couple of years ago. This is phase 2. So we're just expanding it. I can turn it over to David to provide you with more information, but we do collect data. We just don't point to location on a map and say, hey, let's put a bike lane here. So there is a data collection. There's analysis that's built into this study. And DOT really believes that we could help the community by installing this bike lane. David, did you want to talk about data collection?
Yeah, we generally do data collection, our own internal data collection. We're counting the traffic, we're counting everything from the turning movements of vehicles, so we know where people are going. and we're finding out what the everyday traffic looks like. It's a pretty rigorous process where you're basically trying to look for the peak hour. You're looking for like what's the worst traffic during the day when you're doing these traffic models that we do to make sure that it's okay to make these adjustments. In terms of this project itself, we were actually kind of lucky because we also had traffic data coming in from these projects that were happening in the area surrounding our project for the last couple of years. So for the last couple of years, we've actually have a lot of data involving like not just what's on the ground right now, but what these developments are expecting to generate, and they usually estimate a little bit high. And so, yeah, we've been working on this for quite a while. Port Authority has definitely been helping with their end of the projects and around the bridge and such. And so we've all been working together to try to get this going. I would say that like in terms of the cyclists, there are cyclists on the street. They deserve to be safe. And we work to try to help them out. And we also have to balance that with the realities of what's happening on the street. I know that traffic is a major concern for Staten Island and such. I used to live there. I'd like to come back. I actually quite like Staten Island. We experience it too. We understand it. We understand that people deal with this. And again, like that's why our process is pretty rigorous. We're looking at what's going on the street. We're taking multiple days of counts and checking this out. In terms of this project, it's just going to be Goethals that's going to have the impact for the removing the travel lane. But either that, if you stand on Goethals Road North today, I think you'll find that it's pretty moderate traffic. There's not much out there to connect to except for the commercial ports and the industrial sites. And that traffic, the EDC is actually working pretty hard to make a connection for them and improve their connections, but they're focusing outside of our project. They don't think where we're working is as important. And they're working with these port facilities and such.
Thank you, David.
You're welcome. Sorry.
Thank you. I have to move this along now. Okay, I think we got the idea. Everyone's had an opportunity to comment on it. So we do have another agenda. We do have other people here behind this project. So we do need to move on. Okay, so we need to take a vote on this. Mrs. Clift, this is in regard to the DOT transportation project on the Goethals Bridge connection, phase 2. Do you have the list of, you're on mute, Ron?
That's text. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can now.
Yes.
Sean Abrams,
No.
AJ, Igor Babashkin.
Danny, can you go on mute?
Anthony Pisano?
Okay, whatever.
No. No, okay. I'm a no. Dr. Cognata,
No.
Barbara Colugio,
Yes.
Ben D'Amato,
No.
Sandy DiGiovanni,
No.
Safer Dormaz, Roy Garlisi,
Roy, thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up. Okay.
Sal Genovese,
Everybody.
is he gone? Sal Genovese? Okay, I'll come back. Fred Ginta,
No.
Kang,
No.
Dr. Khalid,
No.
Michael Lanza,
No.
Diane McNamara,
No.
Dr. Raju,
No.
David Santoro,
No.
Dr. Seminara,
No.
Steven Zedorico,
Yes.
Steven Zaboinski,
No.
Roseanne, you skipped me.
Okay, why are you not on here?
Recording in progress.
Okay, and you are a yes or no?
No.
Okay.
Row with Alan Perel, no.
Oh, okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Excuse me, Roseanne,
Yes.
it looks like Sal Genovese is still on. His name appears.
I said it twice. I don't know.
I'm gonna try once more.
Okay, sure.
Mute.
Sal Genovese? Sal? Okay.
He just left. I don't see him.
I see him, but he's muted. Okay, thank you, Ro.
All right. 18 opposed
Okay.
and 3 in favor.
Okay. Okay, DOT, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, moving along. The second presentation that we have is in regard to 136 Walcott Avenue. This is a standard application to the New York City Landmarks Preservation for a proposed alteration / addition to an existing one-family residence and proposed accessory one-car garage. Do we have the applicant here? Is that Mr. Yuen?
Yes, this is Willie Yuen. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, and good evening to our friends in Community Board. My name is Willie Yuen again. I'm an architect here in St. George. First of all, I'd like to thank Deborah for allowing us to do the presentation, even though it's a sort of a last minute. So this project is on 136 Walcott Avenue, and it's off Forest Hill Road. I have with me also my associate, Patrick. He will show us a screenshot of the LPC map to just for us to know where it's located.
Coming up now. There you go. Okay.
Right,
We
the
got it.
LPC map. Can we show them the LPC map here?
Is it the rear yard that triggers this process?
Yes, this is the tax map.
Yeah.
That orange property is the, yeah. So the yellow area there is part of the Staten Island Farm Colony. And further down is the Seaview Hospital. The New York City Farm Colony was merged with the Seaview in 1915 and officially designated as a landmark in 1985. But as you can see, all the houses there along Walcott was built in 1969. There are about 21 houses there. So it's on the backside of the farm colony. So we're proposing to do a second floor addition to the house. Maybe we can show some picture first of the streetscape. That's the back side. We want to see the front side of, that's the back side of the property. That's the front side. And on all the houses there are mostly similar. They're all 2-story. Only this one is a 1-story, and the family needs additional space. So as you can see, the backside there, yeah, this is the along Walcott Avenue, showing a typical houses there with 1-car garage on the front. So, and we can look at the proposed plan that we are trying to do, the first drawing. A1, yes, if we can. So we're proposing a 2-story addition over the first floor and the garage on the back side. So we have submitted an application to the landmark As per review, it's a non-contributing building. That means the building does not contribute to the historic district. And we can go to the floor plan. Cellar is existing. First floor is existing. We're adding a second floor. And let's go to the next page with a partial third floor. And that's the front view with the side view there. So we're submitting this to the community board as per request from Landmark.
And this is all because the rear yard touches in Farm Colony.
Yes.
That's it. No other, if it were 20 feet further outside, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Right. Everything is, yeah, as per zoning resolution, the
Yep.
height, the floor area. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Does anyone have any questions for the team? Okay. I guess we need to take a vote on this. Okay. Roseanne?
Yeah, hold on.
This is in regard, okay, while you're doing that, this is in regard to 136 Walcott Avenue, standard application to New York City landmarks for a proposed alteration / addition to the existing one-family residence and a proposed accessory one-car garage. That's a non-contributory matter with respect to the landmark designation of Farm Colony. Did I get that right, sir?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Ro, all yours.
You ready? Can you hear me?
I can, loud and clear.
Okay. Sean Abraham,
Yes.
Antoinette Balzano,
Antoinette, thumbs up, thumbs down, you're on mute.
I read her lips.
Yes, my dear.
Dr. Kignata,
Yes.
Robert Coligio,
Yes.
Ben D'Amato,
Yes.
Sandy DiGiovanni,
Yes.
Roy Garlisi. Okay, got it. That's a yes. Okay. Sal Genovese. Sal Genovese. Fred Ginta.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Kang.
Yes.
Dr. Khalid.
Yes.
Michael Lanza.
Yes.
Diane McNamara.
Yes.
Dr. Perel. Dr. Perel. So a minute ago. Okay, I'll come back. Dr. Raju.
Yes.
Jerry Ruggiero.
Yes.
David Santoro.
Yes.
Dr. Seminara.
Yes.
Steven Zederico.
Yes.
Steven Zablinski.
Yes.
Dr. Perel. Okay. 19 in favor. 0 opposed.
Thank you very much.
Robert, you're on mute.
Something worried about everybody else. See, it happens. So we have some members that showed up here. Deb Zederico, did we capture him in the attendance? And Igor Babashkin and Dr. Cognata?
I have Dr. Cognata. Babashkin?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay.
So,
All right.
are you voting or what?
No, I just want to make sure we had the original, the attendance, because I don't know if
Okay.
we captured some names and they didn't answer.
I did Dr. Cognata. Igor didn't see. Okay.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, let's move along. That completes the presentation phase, believe it or not. We're up to the standing committee reports now. Aging Committee, Dr. Seminara, did you still hang in here with us?
Yeah, no, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
I don't have anything,
That's fine.
specific
That's okay.
for today, but I just also want to wish everybody a happy summer and remember to just stay well. Thank
Stay
you.
away. Stay away. Yes, that's right. Thank you. Okay.
Speaking of which, Bob, are we going to go back to in-person meetings soon?
Well, I'm waiting for guidance on that. My inclination is that we will, but we haven't received anything in writing yet, and we still don't have a home. So Debbie and I are going to be
More to the point.
We do that every summer. So I don't know. So yeah, the answer is yes and no. So you'll see something from us in the summer as soon as we get a plan. But I think that's the idea. No. Okay. Capital and budget, Roy Garlisi. Anything else to report that you did not? You're on mute, so just say thumbs up or thumbs down. No. Okay, we'll take that as a no. The report's on file anyway. Thank you, Roy. Thank you, Dr. Seminar, for your service for this whole last year. I appreciate that. Roy, same to you. Mr. Zederico, Parks.
No report.
All right, thank you very much for everything for the past year. I appreciated everything that you've done. Health, Dr. Raju, this is your first committee meeting with us here, right? You weren't here when we appointed you, but you're here now, I still hope, right?
No report. Next year, we'll probably make it more efficient. So I just
more interesting. Okay. All right. Thank you. In any event, welcome again. You weren't here when I welcomed you, so I'm officially welcoming you to the.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm happy that I have you here. Okay. Land use, David Santoro.
Yes.
Yours. I'm
Mr.
going on
Chair.
mute.
Yep. So we had a subcommittee meeting on June 7th. We had one item on the agenda. I know we're running late today, so I will lead by telling you that the Land Use Committee voted 10-0 in favor of the project, which is at 58 Cromwell Circle. Basically, they're looking for permission to develop a new two-story detached single-family home with a 3-car garage and an in-ground pool. There was no community opposition, and the Civic supported the application. If anyone has any questions, we will seek to answer them. Other than that, it was a pretty straightforward request. And as I indicated, the Land Use Subcommittee voted 10-0 in favor. Any questions out there? Okay, no questions. Roseanne, you want to just take a full vote?
Sure.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear. I'm not even on mute. Yep.
Sean Abraham,
Yes.
Antoinette Balzano,
Yes.
Igor Babushkin,
Yes.
I'm a yes. Dr. Kugnata,
Yes.
Robert Colicchio,
Yes.
Ben D'Amato,
Yes.
Sandy DiGiovanni,
Yes.
Roy Garlisi. Okay, got it. Sal Genovese. Okay. I'll come back. Fred Ginta,
Yes.
Kang,
Yes.
Dr. Khalid,
Yes.
Michael Lanza,
Yes.
Diane McNamara,
Yes.
Dr. Burrell,
Yes.
Dr. Raju,
yes.
Jerry Victoria,
Yes.
David Santoro,
Yes.
Dr. Seminara,
Yes.
Steven Zederico,
Yes.
Steven Zaboinski,
Yes.
21 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you,
All right,
Roseanne.
thank you.
That's it,
David,
Mr.
thank you very much for your service, David. I appreciate threading the needle for the last 12 months. So thank you very much. I wanted you to know that. On behalf of the board. Do you want to say anything else, David, before I move on to the next event?
No, that's it. Just that it's been fun. I expect it'll continue to be fun. So
Okay, I certainly hope so. And I meant to ask, there weren't any follow-ups from the Civic on this because we had heard it at the subcommittee, right? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you, David. Okay. Law and Legislative, Mendy's not here tonight. I don't see him. But we're always in compliance. So I thank him for his service and his help over this last 12 months. Mendy, when you hear this or see this, we thank you. Thank you. Okay. Traffic and Trans, Public Service, Jerry Ruggiero, here we go.
Okay, we had a meeting last week for New York State liquor license for 1282 Richmond Road, PMB Group LLC, which is Primo Pizza Restaurant. They're applying for New York State liquor license. New application for a temporary retail permit for full premise liquor license. Method of operation is live music, patron dancing, and use of small area in front of the building for about 6 tables. The committee approved the application with stipulations that they follow the New York City noise code. And we need to take a full board vote now, Roseanne.
Yeah, I want to just clarify that. Jeremy, thank you very much. Well, I agree 1,000%. I just, what I call the stipulation at that meeting was actually the law. You know, that pamphlet is the law. So I
Right.
want to distinguish between the stipulation and the law. So yeah, but the applicant agreed with everything that we said.
Yes.
So going forward, there'll be a little more streamlined process. Thank you very much, Jerry. Thank you.
I have a
Was there-
question for you. You got a minute?
Yeah.
In regards to the liquor license that they're looking for, they're gonna have outside music?
No.
Everything's inside?
Inside.
Okay. Thank you.
There will be 6 tables outdoors.
To eat.
Right.
Hey,
So,
you did not restrict them from having outdoor music. You would have to stipulate that.
Hello, are those 6 tables going to be on the sidewalk?
As far as we know, yes.
Yes. On the sidewalk, is that against the law?
Well,
No.
he said he was going to look at who owned the property.
They own the piece of property in front of the building that the table's going to be on. It don't have to be part of the law.
It
Excuse
doesn't
me.
have to be part. Wait a minute, are they going to be on the sidewalk?
Yes, but the owner could own part of that sidewalk area. That's what we were.
What does that mean? I mean, it's a city sidewalk. Does people walk there?
No, part of the sidewalk, it's a wide sidewalk in front of the building. So there's a piece of the sidewalk that belongs to the building. It's a wide
kinda
area between the front of the building and the curb line.
It sounds like his property line extends into the concrete.
Off the curb, yes. That's
Yes.
correct.
Okay, so he owns to the street then, yes?
No, no.
Probably halfway.
It's a wide sidewalk there. It's a wide piece of concrete from the curb line to the building. So there is a piece of property that belongs to the building, not belonging to the sidewalk.
Okay, can we differentiate between what belongs to pedestrians walking by and what he owns? Can we do that?
I'm sure we could.
And that
I
has
think-
nothing to do with the liquor license.
No.
I know-
Excuse me. Excuse me. When you said that this passed as per the stipulations of the law, that allows for outdoor music. You did not put a stipulation on that they were not allowed to have outdoor music. Now you just told somebody else that they couldn't.
They
That is
said they're
true.
not having outdoor music.
No, they specifically said they might have outdoor music if there were parties. And as per,
I don't think they're gonna have parties outdoors. They didn't say nothing about having parties outdoors.
they have 6 tables.
Yeah,
As per the
He might
stipulation.
not, the lawyer said they might not even have 6 tables out there. depending on
Okay,
how
but-
big the area is.
Okay, but the bottom line is not what the lawyer said. The bottom line is we are not putting a stipulation on that would prevent outdoor music. So I would like to clarify that. If they want to set up a speaker outdoors, the way you are passing this, they can.
They weren't even saying anything about outdoor music. It was just
Can
music.
somebody stop the barking dog, please?
The lawyer specifically stated it was not a priority for him, but he would like to have outdoor music if he could. And you guys said, well, as long as you follow the law on this pamphlet.
That's what they're gonna do.
So they are allowed to have outdoor music then. Please
But he
clarify that.
wasn't sure if they were gonna have it or not. He wasn't even sure if they were gonna have the tables outside.
Okay, but the point is, the way you are asking us to vote is that they would be allowed to have outdoor music.
I'm gonna say no, because he said he wasn't even sure they wanted outdoor. This was
Again, I'm not asking whether you think he will or not. I'm asking
Is he
you.
allowed?
Yes, and he is.
The applicant here tonight? Is he
Well-
there?
It's not.
But we don't need the applicant. The bottom line is we did not put a stipulation restricting them from playing outdoor music, so they can.
Well, why do we want to restrict them? We're not talking
don't
about
we
Led
vote on
Zeppelin
You
here.
don't want them playing music in a residential community,
Take the vote on,
Come
Mr.
on.
Chairman.
really?
It's a very residential area
There are
behind there.
houses right across the street.
We
And houses
discussed
behind
all
it.
of that, and he said he wasn't even sure if the tables were gonna be outside.
I wouldn't believe the lawyer.
And that's a curve too, dangerous area. I wouldn't want to sit outside on that curve on Richmond Road.
I guess that's why they were deciding if they were gonna have it or not.
Okay, so can I ask, if you do not feel that they're gonna have outdoor music, what's the problem with putting a restriction saying no outdoor music?
Well, then we're gonna have to table this and have the applicant come in and discuss it over.
Yeah.
Well, shouldn't we really know exactly what the applicant's planning to do before we vote on it? Because once you don't put stipulations, the applicant can do anything that they want and
Exactly.
can't do anything.
Well,
So
then we have to.
He has to tell us what he's sure he's going to do.
We have to have him come back in then, Deb.
Jerry,
I agree.
Jerry, otherwise, Jerry, we could vote and have a very restrictive. And let him come back and tell us, and then we can have another vote. if we needed to.
No, it's.
Well, really,
not that way.
doesn't the applicant know what he wants?
Didn't seem that way.
Well,
I think, Mr. Chairman,
Yes, yeah.
I think we should not, because this is really very confusing and this is not the right thing. I don't think we should go for a vote. Let them come back and then let them ask these questions, because there's a lot of assumptions. I don't
We
think.
could table it. I expected him here tonight. I thought he would be here with the answers to the questions.
We told him to come.
Right, he's
Please
not here.
table it. Please
Okay,
table
so
it.
The fact that he's not here, we'll table it.
This and
Well, the questions have to be answered at committee, and then we just
Yes, let's table it.
would.
Okay, well, no, I make a motion to table. Is anyone
Yes.
second?
I
Jerry, you agree?
second it.
I
Okay.
second.
Thank you, Robert.
It's
Jerry, I
off the
would do
list.
one thing, Jerry, if you can, just
Yes.
when they come back in, tell them to bring a survey of the property, show them where their property line ends and the city
Yeah.
sidewalk begins.
Right, he was gonna find that out, and I thought he would bring it here tonight.
And more importantly, he was going to find out exactly how they were going to operate the place, right?
Right.
Well, they're going to have,
We asked him to come back tonight. I don't know
we
why.
did, with answers to the questions, and he's not here. So
Table it.
that speaks more than the noise the music will make, huh? So, no pun intended, that's just a metaphor. All right, let's move on.
My report.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you for your service. Appreciate it.
You're
Thank you. All right. All right, Youth Services, Sandy, are you still with us? I saw Sandy.
I'm right here. Nothing to report. School's come
Okay.
to an end.
All right. Thank you, Sandy. I appreciate your service. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, now, this is the feature presentation coming up now. So this is the one time that the chair gets to turn over the complete board control to the election committee chair. So, Mr. D'Amato, I'm pleased and honored to turn it over to you and Mrs. Clift.
You're on mute, Ben.
You're on mute, Ben. That's the cliche of CB2.
I'm mute.
Sorry. Thank you. I'm gonna try and make this real quick for you.
All yours, please.
It should be
Please.
easy because
Oh.
nobody's running unopposed. Anyway, so we have Rob Coligio has submitted his name for chair. There's no other nominations from the floor in May for the chair position. That being none, the position for chair is now closed. Secretary, cast one vote for Rob Coligio, please.
I cast one vote for Robert Coligio.
Okay, Rob Coligio, you are re-elected as chair.
Hey.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, first chair, Annette Barnolzano has submitted her name for first chair position. There are no other nominees from the floor in May for the first chair position. There being no one, the position is the first vice chair is now closed. Secretary, cast one vote for Annette Barnolzano.
I cast one vote for Antoinette Balzano.
Great. Fred Ginter has submitted his name for second vice chair position. There are no other nominees from the floor in May for the second vice chair position. There being none, the position for second vice chair is now closed. Secretary, cast one vote for Fred Ginter.
I cast one vote for Fred Ginter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Third vice chair, Jerry Ruggiero has submitted his name for the third vice chair position. There were no other nominees from the floor in May for the third vice chair position. There being none, the position for third vice chair is now closed. Secretary, cast one vote for Jerry Ruggiero.
I cast one vote for Jerry Ruggiero.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Treasurer, Roy Galisi has submitted his name for a treasurer's position. There are no other nominations from the floor in May for the treasury's position. There being none, the position for treasury is now closed. Secretary, please cast one vote for Roy Galisi.
I cast one vote for Roy Garlisi.
Okay, Mr. Chair, you're going to get the last word.
Okay, thank you. Secretary, there being no other nominations for secretary, I nominate Roseanne Cliff for the secretary for the FY23 session. Do I have one vote?
I vote.
Thank you.
I
Here you go,
vote.
Ro. You're in. Thank you,
You're
Roseanne.
in.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tomato, back to you. Are we done?
We're done. Thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy your summer.
Good
And
job, Ben.
congratulations to all the incumbent nominees.
Ben, thank you very, very much for your time. Sal, welcome back, Sal. Ben, I think we didn't notice that. Ben, thank you very much for your service.
Thank you,
here,
Rob.
putting this together. Appreciate it. Fred, thank you for your help in that matter. Okay, thank you.
Mr.
And
Chairman?
everyone, yes,
Yeah, I just want to congratulate the office holders for agreeing to do that. And I want to thank them for their services and congratulations.
thank you. Thank you. And I just want to congratulate all of you and the new board members. And thank you all for your help and service for the last year. But most importantly, I have to thank Debbie Derrico, because I can't get through the day without 900 chats with Debbie. Do I have to do something? Do we need to do something? And without Debbie, we would be in real trouble. So Debbie, thank you very, very much for everything for the past year. I
Very
sincerely.
welcome and congratulations, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. And committee chair on your committee, I'm hereby reappointing you. And if you're not interested in doing that, please let me know. Because otherwise we're going to continue with the current system that we have in place. And I just want to thank you and congratulate all of you. That said, I'm going to close the election portion. Ben, again, thank you. And I'm trying to move on the agenda. We only got 45 items left. So,
Oh, Robert,
yes,
I see in the chat that
Uh-oh.
Dylan Fasella has a question on behalf of Councilmember Borelli, Joseph Borelli.
Okay. Dylan, yes, go ahead.
Yes, I don't know if anybody's still here from the Department of Transportation, but it was
Probably not.
at them. Councilman Borelli.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know if you guys want to go back to it, but it was regarding the Goethals Bridge and the bike lanes. His question was, who are the people currently commuting to work and where do they work? Or do you think people are suddenly going to commute to work if there are bike lanes?
Is that something you could email Debbie and she can get answers for DOT for the record?
Sure, I can do that.
Okay. I don't want to, yeah, I don't want, yeah, she's here. And you have her email. And it would be important to know the origin, destination, who these people are. It's a good point. All right. Anything else? Deb, we got it covered, chats, everything? Okay. Any old business? It better be good. Old business.
I almost hate to say it because it's been such a long meeting, but the DOT, are they still here?
I don't see them. I'm looking. They left.
All right, we brought it up a meeting or two ago about the intersections at Rockland, Brielle, and Forest Hill Road that they planned about 4 years ago. They were going to make easy traffic. We haven't heard anything back. And then Ed Burke from the borough president's office came and talked about a whole Richmond Town plan again. Never heard anything about. I'd love to hear from them again.
No, those are valid points. There's no reason why we can't email DOT and extra status updates on those items, right?
We'll see them in September. Have a great summer, everybody.
I have my opinion, but keep it
It
to
looks
myself.
like in the chat, Jean, I'm sorry, excuse me, Jean Guerrera, I don't know what he means, he says within the law. And someone said DOT is still here. Please email.
I don't see them.
No.
That's just her empty screen. I see.
Check the chat.
Not here.
DOT, no.
I have old business.
Go ahead.
May I speak?
Yes, by all means. This is your
Okay, I
chance.
came in a little late to the meeting.
We know.
Do we have an update on Steuben and Highland? Has anything transpired? That's number one. The second thing is, I don't know if you're aware of the Geller House on Chicago Avenue.
No, not aware.
It's a home for bad kids. It's been around since I'm 5 years old. There were 8 kids that vandalized St. Joseph Hill Convent about 10 years ago. I don't know if you remember it. And they destroyed a brand new convent inside. The nun decided not to press charges in lieu of increasing security so that these kids would have to sign in and out because they roam the neighborhood. That lasted for 6 months. Last week, I got a phone call from a neighbor that my mother's house was broken into. And I ran around the corner and there were 2 kids from the Geller house handcuffed in the driveway, a girl and a boy. And they were picked up by counselors at the Geller house because there is no more security. And that the people in the surrounding area, Pickersgill Avenue, Landis Avenue, have been plagued for 10 years. People have found them swimming in their pools during the hot days in the summer. So the security issue lasted 6 months. Then I think about Steuben and Highland and the security that's promised. And I know that's not going to happen.
No.
Because nobody's even following through with the
Wait a
Geller
minute, go
house.
back to your other issue. Why hasn't any of what you've just said ever been in the paper or reported? I don't remember reading anything about it.
Oh, headline. It was headlines for days.
I don't remember.
It was on the news. It was on all the news stations.
Oh my God. I don't remember.
Vandalization.
At that time, it was Sister William was the mother provincial. She's still alive. I mean, she's old and sickly now, but she did not press charges. She said she'd pray for them and they promised security. So there is no security. And I think that's what will happen at Steuben and Highland. And that's a beautiful area around there.
I haven't heard anything about Steuben and Highland since the press conference that Saturday morning. Anything.
And I don't know, they're still working on it. There's no windows on, there's a tarp on the roof.
Wow.
I think, Chairman?
Yes.
Dr. Raju? Yeah, I was in the press conference, I spoke, and Borough President was there, all the electors were there.
Yes,
we are all completely opposed to the thing that there is a lack of transparency. They're just not telling anyone what exactly is going to happen. Especially, we raise concern about the security and safety of this place, as well as the housing condition in which they were being housed. Because this is, according to them, each room will be by 6 feet by 8 feet. It will be the dimensions of the room. but that is kind of unacceptable to anybody. So they were actually trying to get some information from the city, but the city is not really forthcoming with us on what is being planned and what we done with that. So this is a very disturbing situation. The local community was there in full force. They've expressed their anguish over this, but this is something I think we need to continue to fight for it, because they seem to go ahead with that, because they started putting on they're putting on the windows.
They
They're putting on
dropped the
everything.
ball right after that
Yes.
meeting.
So
As
you
far as
think
I'm
all of a
concerned,
sudden it's
they
going to
dropped
show
the
up
ball.
and be operational despite all the presentations and all the objections? That's interesting.
Well, they don't continue to fight for something. They're just going to go on to the next item.
So what recourse do we have?
Yeah, I
Deb?
spoke to Tanusa's office after our last meeting. You know, they promise you the world. You know, they had all these violations with zones, and we got to get to the bottom of this, and I haven't heard a word. And then I have a security issue last week.
Debbie, do we have any recourse? Can we follow up with the lead agency on the status of that Highland Boulevard thing?
Whatever you want, that's what I'll do.
Okay.
But it's not fair to say that.
Sounds like a yes. Okay.
It doesn't sound, it's not fair to say that Tanusis isn't doing anything. I'm sure they're working on it. I mean, you can only.
I don't know. He said he would call me back. I never got a phone call back.
Well,
it can't be an attitude. It's not my neighborhood, so I don't care.
Oh, I don't think
The
it's
house
that.
next
I think it's a
door
very
to it-
difficult situation, but I'm sure all the elected officials are doing
The
their.
house directly next door to it is literally almost a $2 million home. He just finished putting Spanish tiles on his roof. And look who his new neighbors are. And what happens to all their property values go down?
Deb, are they in compliant with the zoning for that area?
No.
So then how was
No,
not the
we were
building
told
department?
no.
How was not the building department giving them a stop work order? They would do it to
think-
me.
I think they were
Never
exempt.
get an answer. You never get a straight answer on that piece of
I'll
property.
defer
Never.
that to David. David, is the zoning, are they compliant with the zoning?
They said that it didn't apply to them, is what I recall.
Well, they were putting a
How does-
sub-basement.
how does it
They
not
had to get
apply to
away
them?
with the basement issue.
When does it not apply to them?
Well, that's why I'm asking, is there a lead agency that we
It's an
can follow?
emergency,
Exactly.
emergency order. I forget. I would have to look that up.
Dr. Raju, do you have anyone
They
you can
can-
contact to get an accurate status for the board?
Oh, I think Borough President Office is trying to kind of, discuss with them and trying to persuade them not to do this the best we can. From what I understand, Debbie is right. During the COVID, there were some relaxation of the rules, and they basically got approved during the time, and that is what they are banking on to going ahead with that. I just want to, even Mr. Tanusas was there, everybody is trying very hard, but it looked like the project has been grandfathered during the COVID time, and people are just using that as an excuse to keep going on with that, in spite of a tremendous opposition from everybody in Staten Island, not only that community. Every one of us, we believe strongly this is a bad thing for Staten Island, and that doesn't do anything good to the people. And also, it doesn't do anything good to the people who are going to stay there, because that is going to be a very horrible facility from just the way it has been being built and the dimensions of the room they stay.
Debbie, who is the lead
Yes.
agency on that, Deb?
Can I interrupt for a second, Rob?
Yes, of course. I was just going to
Yes,
ask.
so just Debbie and Dr. Raju are correct. While we are vehemently, the borough president is vehemently against this, that is how they did sneak it through. They did sneak it through under an emergency order. And that's why they were able to get around the land use requirements.
What was the emergency?
During COVID, they had this, the law. Yeah, they
COVID
put-
and the increase in homelessness as a result of COVID.
There was no shelter, insufficient shelter capacity.
Yes, exactly.
That's why they couldn't get them off the subways and the trains and buses. They had nowhere to put anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, who is the lead agency on this sort of project? Is it HHC? Is it?
No, this HRA.
Oh, go ahead.
HRA.
Dr. Raju, you could
homeless.
say.
Sorry?
Yeah, Department of Homeless
Yeah.
Services.
Homeless services. That's a part of HRA now. So
So Debbie, if you can please reach out to that agency for a status, since they already We had several meetings here. There was a press conference a month ago where, just to get an update on where it is, so we know what our strategy could be.
What was the lead's name? What was her last name, like Whitehead or?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
She had not even seen the property and she was speaking, so.
Yeah, she
that it
hadn't
was the
been there.
perfect
That's
place.
correct. Yes, we called her out on that, that you've been there. That's correct. All right, Doctor, we heard you. We're going to try to get an update for you and for the board and for all the people in the neighborhood, more importantly.
And the security issue,
And the security issue. So.
which, nobody follows.
Ms. LaFrancesca, is there anything else you want to do before I move on my agenda here?
Nope, go ahead.
Okay, well, old business. Do we do old business? Any new business?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Antoinette?
If I may, I want to congratulate all of my fellow officers. I want to thank you, the board members that have shown your trust in me to move forward in helping our community. I want you to know that I work my very hardest and I will continue to do so. And I think that we are a great team. We are a very good team in working together. And I thank you and I wish you a wonderful summer. If I may, Robert, and I need to thank Robert for your guidance and Debbie, because Debbie, you have no work hours. You've never not taken a call and I appreciate that so much. I've asked for this before, I think, but I didn't pursue it. I don't know if anybody else would feel that this might be some good for the community, but I have some questions about Access-a-Ride. And I was wondering if, I don't know if that would be Jerry, your committee, to have someone from the MTA to come and maybe if any of the members have any experience with them.
Not tonight.
Of course not. And there's no rush. Robert, they've been horrible for the 20 years that I've known them. And, I'm very involved now recently.
I understand.
I see people not standing in wheelchairs on roads that they never show up. It's pathetic. If you see it, it'll break your heart.
That would be public service and traffic and transit, I suppose.
Well, if we could do that sometime in September, October, November.
Yep. We can add that to our pocket. Yep.
God bless you, all of you, and thank you so much.
All right, one more time. Any other new business?
Hi, Robert.
Mr. Zborski, I want to thank you for being the sergeant at arms. We were quite safe sitting.
I am keeping you safe.
You are.
But I hate to beat a dead horse. Okay. We understand that Juicy Lucy is going to give a July 3rd party. Okay. I know. I see you bury your head. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to make you tired. But I want to know. I'm going to have to glue my dishes in the closet. Okay. Because it is so loud that my kitchen.
I don't disagree with one thing you said, Steve. I've heard it. I agree. I'm just trying to figure out what recourse we have.
I know every recourse we have. I just want people to be more diligent, okay, when they do approve these liquor licenses for these things. That's all I'm asking, Robert. I'm not asking for much. I really, really want us to look at them a little bit better. Okay, let this be a lesson learned. Okay, can we do that? Can we say a lesson learned?
We will put it through all of them through the diligence. 100%. I agree. But I also think for everyone's benefit, Debbie did share an email to complain in addition to the 311.
Yes, she did, and I applaud her. And I believe that believe it or not, I believe the community board is moving on. We're getting a little bit more diligent, and I applaud everyone on the board. I really do, Robert.
Okay.
I really do. I'm going to get out my cotton for the 3rd, but that's beside the point. But I don't know if there is any answer here. We really, really got to look at this a little bit better. I really do. I think that those requirements that we put on a liquor license, I think that we have to find out how they follow them.
Steve, I think also you know, the board, our role and function is extremely limited, right? There are agencies
Yes.
who are responsible to enforce laws to prevent the exact issue that you have every Sunday. So all
Yeah.
we can do is, it's noisy there, call 311. If they get enough 311 complaints, I would expect DEP, buildings, somebody, police, fire department, somebody to come down and say, gee, that must be noisy over there. But I don't see.
No, Robert, 311 says they have 8 hours to come for the complaint. 8 hours.
Okay.
311, you call 311 with a complaint. They have 8 hours to send the NYPD here. 8 hours. So what? They come 7.5 hours later, everything's gone.
I hear you. I understand. I know. I agree
So-
with you, and I'm not sure what, what
Isn't that a little bit ridiculous? I mean, really? But still, let's move on. I as I said, I applaud the board. And I think that we're going to be a little bit more diligent on the liquor licenses and the outside music. And you know what? I seen the board the last couple of times. We are being more diligent, more than I would ever believe. We really are. With Richmond Road, we've been really. I hate to have spearheaded this, but I think we are doing a good job.
Thank you. We're trying. We're not ignoring any issue that comes to the board. We don't ignore.
No, I know that, Robert.
We
Robert, I
don't
know.
shove them under
Robert.
the table. We don't, So,
Mr.
all right.
Chairman,
I hate to end. I want to end on a positive note.
Mr. Chairman.
We are, Robert.
Yes.
Let the internet talk.
I hear it in my ear already. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know, maybe it's just, Steve, when you just use that word spearheaded, I hear you and Diane McNamara. I was there. I agree with you 500%. But where are the people? Where are the other complainants?
There are nobody. Look. We went through Sandy, internet. We have nobody here. I have 4 houses and there used to be 11 on the block.
That's what's sad, Stephen. That's why fingers are being pointed at you. Because there's nobody else, but I was there and I witnessed.
They can point at me all the internet. They can point at me all they want. I am one person. I am calling 311. I am a constituent. All right. I am also on community board too. So why would it be only one person complaining? That's kind of stupid, isn't it? One person
We've
complaining.
been through this before. We all heard this before. We know the story. I don't mean to cut you short. We could talk offline about this.
I just wanted to be known.
You have some questions?
One of the board members made a recommendation that the neighbors chip in and hire an attorney. And that could be very expensive. It's a good idea, and get some press and get some, some foot
A lot of
traffic.
money.
It's expensive,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a I know it is a real issue, and I want to make sure that we're not exacerbating it by us, and not, and we're not exacerbating it by not doing our correct diligence. But I also want to believe that after all this time, that Juicy Lucy has no idea what we've been talking about, and I would expect him to step up, pick up the phone, and come to one of our meetings and talk to us and see how we could work these things out.
They already came to a meeting, and their response was
they didn't take us serious. That he just gave us lip service, right? Right? Remember?
Diane, I was there, and I'd like him to say to my face
How did
that.
this hit our phone?
Excuse me.
What?
Diane, can you
That's some
hear us?
background noise. I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is either, but I think we got the idea, everybody. I mean, we know it's almost as sensitive as the land use swimming pool in the middle of the street project we get, So with that, it's not over. The journey's not over yet. We're not going to be giving up. But I do think we do have a number of tools, new ones that Debbie did send us, which is the first time I saw that application, anonymous complaints for SLA
Yes.
license, And I can't imagine if they don't get enough of those, that they can't ignore it. And the same thing with the 311s. But as Antoinette points out, there's one complaint, two complainants. Who's going to take that serious? You know? So with that, I'm going, unless there's some other old or new business, I just, for a minute, it's 8:55. I just want to open the floor up to any members that have any complaints, criticisms,
Excuse
anything.
me, Robert.
Yes, Antoinette.
I see.
Debbie.
I see that Borough Commissioner of DOT, Roseanne Caruana, is still here. There was a question from Dylan.
Where do you see her? Right here, that blank
I
screen?
see her on my screen.
Yeah, that's just a camera. She's not.
Yeah.
She was
Oh,
on
she's not there? Okay.
She was on DOT client. This is her
Oh,
own.
okay.
She,
Sorry. Thought maybe, all right, thank you.
no problem. In any event, so I just want to open the floor up for one more time this season, this session. If anybody has anything constructive that we haven't addressed or how we can improve or something, it's up to you guys. So I'm gonna go around. Dr. Cognetta. Diane.
I'm good.
No.
Ro. Mrs. Cliff.
Yes, I do. I just got this letter from,
I just sent it to you. Yeah.
yeah, the water mains.
Yep.
I guess this whole area. Can we
Pretty-
get sewers?
Pretty extensive.
You're gonna rip up all the streets to put in water mains, and we still all have septic tanks.
Yeah. Is that the first you're hearing about that project?
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
you
I
know,
can't believe it.
and I'm in the middle of doing my driveway over, and I guess I have to stop now because they're gonna be ripping the street out.
That's a big deal, that project, that map. They see that's the whole area up by you guys.
That'll be a couple of years.
We don't have
Oh,
sewers. And you know, most people just, the septic tanks don't work and they empty into the street and it's lovely.
That was DDC project, correct? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why wouldn't you guys, your civic, notify DDC and the board that you received this letter and we don't know anything about it. We want to know something about it. You know, I don't know if I didn't notice a schedule. I
It's
thought
just,
there was.
you talk to yourself.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah, but I know we got to get past that. If we talk to, we're not going to ever, nobody will listen to us if we don't raise the issue. There'll be a backhoe digging up every day for the next 5 years up there. So I sent it over. You have it.
They rip it up, they put new gas lines, now they're gonna rip it up again and put water mains, and then they'll say, oh, but there's no sewer, so
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay.
All right. Deb, anything you want to add that I have not been able to adequately discuss tonight?
No, thank you.
Antoinette,
No, sir.
Freddie,
I look forward to meeting in person again.
as soon as we get guidance, we will decide. If it's not safe when I go, I'm not, if it's not safe, when I go. If I don't have to go back to work, I'm not going to look at you. So. Sandy,
No, I agree with Fred.
Ben,
Thank you.
Ben,
Did anybody want me? I'm back on again. Bob, did you want me? This is Roseanne again.
sure. 1 second, Rob. We're just going around. I think we did. I think Dylan Fasella had a comment for you.
Okay.
Is that correct, Dylan? He's still here?
Sorry, hold on one moment. Just a question again. I had it on behalf of Councilman Borelli. I also email Will from the DOT. This is
about the bike thing?
Question about the bike thing.
Okay.
Yes. His first question. His first one on behalf of Councilman Borelli. Who are the people currently commuting to work via bike and where do they work? Or do you think people are suddenly going to commute to work if there are more bike lanes? There's a follow-up question after the fact.
Yeah, so let me just say that the intent of this is not because we assume that people are going to start riding their bike from Fahey and South Avenue to Manhattan. Can you guys hear me, by the way?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So that's not the intent of it. We realize that some people might be using it recreationally. And even those that use it recreationally should deserve to be, riding safely. Most of the impacts of this project fall under really in Community Board 1. This is minimal impact in Community Board 2. Mostly it's in Community Board 1. And as I said, they have given us a letter of support for this project. But no, we're not, let Councilmember Relly know, and I've talked to him about this personally, that we don't expect people are gonna, ride from South Avenue in Fahey to the, to work. Some people that may want to do that, but that's not the intent of this. The intent of it is to make cyclists more safer.
Okay.
My daughter commutes from Bergenfield, New Jersey to Manhattan. She's an occupational therapist on her bicycle, except in the worst weather. There are people who do this. We may not, but there are plenty of people who go out on their bicycles.
You're absolutely right. I
Work
work in
and for
Manhattan. We have
pleasure.
that ride from Williamsburg and Brooklyn all the way to Manhattan. No, you're right.
And they do it safely.
Every day.
People do
Every
it.
day.
That's not our intent out here. I was a little bit, I was just a little bit surprised at the opposition, but I mean, you guys have a right to vote, which however you want to go. I'm just saying that, most of the impacts of this study, lane removal, parking loss, is all really happening in Community Board 1, not Community Board 2. And again, these are shared lanes. So we're not taking away lanes of travel. They're shared. Again, so, and, along with these bike lanes, we intend to improve the roads, if we have to resurface it, put some new markings down, that all comes along with the package. So.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you for
Okay.
coming back. Appreciate that. Thank you.
I was afraid. You scared me. I jumped off right away.
Actually, you're on twice. We got you on a camera that's running.
I don't even know why. I have no idea.
No problem. Okay.
Okay.
Not a problem. Thank you very much. All right, let me just finish this. I just want to go around to everybody. Mike Lanza, are you quiet all season? Do you have anything you would like to tell us? Or say?
I'm okay,
Thank you.
following along.
Okay, appreciate that. Mr. Zboyinski, I know what your issue is. Anything new?
No, that's it. We're done, Robin.
Mr.
I want you to
Abrams?
have a good summer. Have a good summer, okay?
Okay, who's 917-769? Is that a board member? I don't know who that is. Nope. Sean, you're new. Do you have anything you want to tell us?
No, not yet, but looking
You're
forward
happy
to
you came.
serving.
Aren't you happy you joined in tonight?
Very, very happy to join. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Sean, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Steve.
Mr. Zederico?
Thank you, guys.
I got one for you, if you don't mind. I know I passed before, but
No problem, Ben.
can you think we can get the board members and whoever is coming on to our community board meetings while we're doing the Zoom meetings to actually show their faces, just where we know who we're speaking to?
Yeah. Oh, you mean to have their video on? Yeah. So we know. Yeah.
Turn your video on. It's always nicer to know who you're speaking to.
No, you're right. Yeah, I agree with you. We do have a lot of names with no images, but there you go. There's Dr. Seminar. She just put a camera. A lot of
Sorry,
people don't know how to
I didn't mean to
it
put you on the spot.
A lot of people don't want to look and put it on at 9 o'clock, So, all right, you're right. It's a good point. And let me just finish going around. Sean, Chris, Jerry Ruggiero. Jerry, any last minute thing you want to tell us?
No, there's nothing.
Thank you. Igor? No? Dr. Raju?
No, thank you. Thank you, Robert. It was mute. Sorry. Thank you guys for the tough year and have a good summer. Thank you for
Be
your
safe.
job.
Thank
you.
Dr. Raju, one more time.
Oh, thank you. Nothing. Wish you all a good summer and thank you for all your service.
Thank you. Dr. Seminar, I do really want to hear from you in September on us aging people. I used to say, nah, it's out there. Now
I may have a few comments.
Now it's in front of me. That was me.
Yeah. But one thing, Robert, professional societies, when they have something that they're going up against, maybe in the state Senate, let's say, they'll send out something and say, write your congressman, or, maybe we don't get traction on certain things because, as had been mentioned earlier, one person makes a call, one person makes a complaint. But if we were to all work together on a small handful of things that there was good consensus on, and if everybody would get 5 people, we could register 100 clicks where clicks are counted and maybe get more attention on things, and pointing out particularly where I think it's been egregious, where it seems that things happen and then we're notified, and there's no platform for us really, except to send a letter of disappointment or a letter of outrage even. But if we had 100 clicks
That makes
you know,
a difference. You're right.
it makes a difference. And so, you know, I mean, I'd be happy to get 5 people and, you know, and get them going. And if everybody did
I'll
that,
remember that. All right, thank you.
yeah,
Appreciate that.
you know,
Mr.
Thank you,
Garlisi,
Bob.
Mr. Garlisi, thumbs up or thumbs down? Anything you want to tell us? Thumbs up is only good stuff. You're on mute, Roy, but I think I know what you're saying. I know you want us to go back to Hilton Garden. That's what I read. Yes, I'm trying. Yeah, I read. See, I can read your lips. I know. We're working on it. Thank you.
Robert, speaking of the Hilton Garden, that is always available to us unless you or a board member can find, you know, someplace else that meets the criteria. I mean,
Okay.
you know, the Hilton Garden has the TV screen. We can
You know,
visit.
it meets all our requirements. There's no.
Yeah, I
question
mean,
about that.
there are city vendors that do business with the city, so the city pays them directly. So
But he only gives us
it's always
water.
available to us if you can find
right.
that you all prefer.
Okay.
Just so
All
everyone knows that may be our only option,
I
Our only
I
option.
think it is our only option.
unless someone can find us a place.
Well, I'm going to put in my
ADA compliant, you
my
know.
blast email to ideas. If anybody has any ideas where we can have a
Yeah.
home.
I think that's fine. That's perfect.
All right, well, I just
Thank
want
you.
you to know that may be our only option.
All right, let me just change the page here. Mike Lanzas, Boyanski, I got Zederico. Dr. Khalid, are you still with us here? No? No. Mr. Genovese?
No,
Anything?
nothing new. Thank you, Rob.
Okay. Did I leave anyone out? I didn't do it. Oh, I want to thank Harris Studios and Andy Levison for all of their recording of every word we say. So we can't even backpedal because it's recorded. So I can't deny it.
Oh, boy, that means I'm in trouble, right?
Some of us, maybe.
I'm in trouble.
I think with the barking dogs, maybe we could filter things out. You know, but we got to work on our netiquette. So, all right. All right. With that, yes. I'm sorry.
Robert, 1 minute. 1 minute. Does the home have to be in community board too?
Oh, we're gonna go through that.
No, come on.
To where to have the
Welcome to
meeting?
adjourn.
Yes. It needs to be within the district.
Oh, we do. Okay, second thing, can you quickly tell me who has the right of way in a share lane with a car and a bike?
Share.
You don't want to
Share.
kill the bike rider.
Don't touch him, right? Chances are you move
Yeah,
out
really.
of the way
What are
for the
you
bike
arguing
ride.
about?
Yeah, seriously. Don't hit him.
Bike has the right of way if he's in front.
That's right.
Very simple.
Always. Yeah. Motorists are secondary. All right, I want to try for the fourth time.
I make
Motion.
Motion to adjourn.
I'm gonna
one more
read my
time.
mind, okay?
Come on, go.
Thank you, everybody. Have a safe summer. Motion to adjourn.
Good.
Somebody
Have a good
second it?
summer, Robert.
All
All
of
right.
you.
Second
Great.
motion.
All right, guys, thank you again for everything, and I really mean thank you for all of
Thank
your
you,
help.
Okay.
Robert, for leading.
Okay.
Well,